And action. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Renee, and yes, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. Disclaimer, my smoke detector is being real trifling and it's going off. Blame building management. I've called them to come change the battery. Blame them, not me. If you hear it, that's what it is, okay? So I'm in a great mood, so I'm trying to maintain it. So for this video, I just want to make sure I get all my points out. I have all my notes in my phone. That way I stay on track, because today's video is a little bit different than what I normally do. I'm not speaking about fashion today. I need a break, okay, child? I need a break from the fashion talk. I just want to get real for a minute. But there's other facets to me. I love talking about fashion. I love talking about art. I love talking about current events in society. I love talking about our community. And I also feel like I'm being called right now to just share my current season that I'm in life, where is a very uncomfortable stage. And by the title of the video is going to be about trusting the uncomfortable season and trusting the uncomfortable process. I took a break from YouTube after reaching a milestone, in my opinion, which was 500 subscribers, which may not be a lot to a lot of people, but for me, again, ignore the detector. But for me, I worked very hard and I stayed consistent at it in order to reach that milestone. It's like as soon as I hit it, I stopped, which had a partial role to play in my break. I also started a new job and I just wanted to get acclimated to the new schedule, acclimated to the new environment. And being in that new environment, which I currently am in, I'm very uncomfortable right now, like very uncomfortable. In this uncomfortable season, I pray and pray for God to just order my steps and just guide me on the way and protect me. A lot of times we feel like God had forgot about us and we don't know where we're going, where we're headed. And sometimes we just need to take a step back. And so that's what I did. I think with the way society is nowadays, and everyone feels like they need to explain themselves every time they need a break from social media or a break from doing whatever they're doing, but specifically social media, especially when you're trying to grow, they always say consistency is the key to growth. So people always feel like they have to keep going, no days off, no weeks off in order to get to where they want to be, and which is true. But sometimes you have to know when you need to take a step back. And I feel like God is going to keep on taking you steps back and steps back and steps back until you learn how to sit down and be quiet. And I don't mean sit down in the literal sense of the word. I mean, what kind of? But I mean, he's going to take you steps back. He's going to make you sort of lose motivation. He's going to make you run out of creative ideas. He's going to make you question everything that you're doing because you lack the faith and you lack the trust in the process. You want to be comfortable in every step of the way, and that gets us nowhere. I was getting overwhelmed, and sometimes when you try to be a jack of all trades, you end up being a master of none, which I feel like that's what I was doing. I was on Instagram, I was trying to be consistent with that and keep that up. It was ever changing, comparing myself left and right. Everyone wants to admit they only run their own race. I was comparing myself, whether it be the quality of the video, what I'm showing. Especially right now, I'm in a season where I cannot be shopping like at all. I start to compare myself with maybe questioning my own personal style, which I love. And especially now that I started this new job, I'm able to express my personal style more, and I've learned to work with what I have. It turned into me sort of giving Instagram a break and just going over on TikTok, which is more you can be yourself. I've been showing my looks of the days, and I pride myself on re-wearing my clothes or wearing it in general. I'll switch pieces up and people will comment and they're liking it, and even though I don't have a million followers, which doesn't even matter, but it's just the fact that I'm showing up with confidence and knowing that I'm just fine with what I have. I don't need to shop and do 10,000 different hauls like everyone else who seems like they're growing because they're doing it. I've learned that I need to just do my own thing, focus on myself and do what works for me, showing up every day, showing how I can rework different pieces, showing how much I love fashion, but I may not be able right now to shop until I drop nonstop. Oh, that rhymed. But yes, utilizing TikTok more and just showing up as my authentic self and doing what I can do has been working for me over there, and it's less pressure. I can even go days without even being on it and just be just fine. I'm still on Instagram, but I more so just show up on my stories here and there. Other than that, I've just been taking a break. Overall, YouTube, I've been taking a break. I still consume it, but I've just been taking a break and just focusing on one thing at a time, getting my footing and getting my schedule down packed at my new job. And then now I'm back in the studio filming again. So ever since God has sat my behind down, which has been really in the last 2 months, I've been going through this uncomfortable season for about a year now, but within the last 2 months, I've been considering going to therapy. I've been watching a lot of videos on how therapy has helped people when they're going through these changes in their lives and just needing someone to speak to sort of just hash out their feelings, their emotions. You may not even have gone through anything traumatic. So I've deeply been into this uncomfortable season for about a year now. I've made like major life decisions within the past year, and also for the past 2 months is when God really sat me down and he's forcing me into isolation, which I already feel like I'm already an isolated person, but not in that sense of the word as being introverted, more so in you need to cut out all distractions. And I've been fighting it, and I know some of you have been fighting it. The quicker we listen to God and the quicker we listen to our ancestors, which is a whole other level of spirituality that we don't even tap into. That's a whole nother subject for a whole other day. The quicker we listen, I feel like the smoother life will be. But I've been sitting down. I feel like if I'm really being honest, when I say I'm being called to isolation, I feel like I need to cut off Instagram, cut off probably TikTok, cut off it all. Sit down and focus. I looked through my older journal entries, and I have a journal entry from June of 2021 where I sat down and I said, I want to change. Like for the better. I wrote out a whole self-development plan and I reread it. And sometimes you need to revisit plans that you make. And if I'm giving any type of advice right now, if you take anything from me, write it down on paper, make it plain, okay? When you put pen to paper, to me, it just, not necessarily manifests, but I just feel like it just puts it in your mind and it helps you focus more on that thing. It puts your energy into it in order to make it happen. We can write it in our phones, on that kind of stuff, but to me, it needs to be on pen and paper. So looking through some of those self-development aspects of me, I've seen that some of them I've done, some of them I'm still actively working on, and some of them I fell off of. So sometimes we need to just get back on the train, focus, cut off all distractions. And like I said, until you listen, God is gonna keep on taking you backwards and backwards and backwards until you listen. Everything I'm saying now in this video, I am definitely talking to myself. I know I'm not the only one that's going through these things, because just being at work even and talking to other people, it's like we're all going through it. And sometimes you need to just see other people who you can relate to, because not everyone looks like what they're going through. I definitely don't look like what I'm going through, and I make sure of it, okay? I try my best to look good every day for the most part, because that's what makes me feel good. I feel like when you look good, you feel good. And sometimes when you look in the mirror and you're like, okay, I look like I can get myself up out of this rut that I'm in, okay? A lot of people, they try to say, a lot of people on Instagram are only showing their highlight reel and it's fake. And it's like, why are people so obsessed with people being down and out? It's like society loves for people to be going through things and miserable. You are calling people fake because they're not putting out their personal business, their personal finances, their personal whatever is going on in their life to make you feel better about yours. Yes, it's a highlight reel, and if you ask me, it needs to stay that way. If you don't have common sense enough to discern what's real life and what is someone's actual reality, then something's wrong with you. Obviously, every day is not a good day for people, but like, it's none of your business to know their problems. And that's just that. So something I did in order to keep myself on task and focus on those days that I may not be feeling the greatest, I'll save videos, whether it be motivational videos, whether it be videos on moving in silence. I always recommend watch some videos on moving in silence. You will see a lot of that is about keeping your mouth shut. And a lot of people say, what's for you is for you. Yeah, that's all fine and dandy, but I do believe in shutting up. Shut up. Every time I open up my mouth about anything that I'm trying to do, it never comes to fruition. Maybe it wasn't for me, I don't know. But when I shut up and pray to God and pray to my ancestors, that's when things happen for me. So sometimes you're running your mouth too much. So look up some videos on moving in silence. One of my favorite things to do when I'm not reading a book is to listen to podcasts. I love listening to podcasts. Whether I'm getting ready in the morning, whether I'm driving to work, whether I'm coming home from work, I'm listening to podcasts. If I have to recommend a few good podcasts, there's gonna be Steve Harvey's Morning Motivations. Guys, I'm telling you, you have to listen to it. The videos are no more than 10 minutes. Sometimes they may be 2-3 minutes. If you put Steve Harvey's public persona and his personal life to the side and just listen to him as a motivational speaker, he will be a boost for your day, okay? I'm gonna leave the link down below for his podcast. There's also another podcast I like to listen to. It's called Therapy for Black Girls, because I am a person who isn't at that let me go to therapy point yet. I'm there, but just not quite there yet. And it's been highly recommended. And I know there's a website called Therapy for Black Girls and Therapy for Black Men, I believe, where you can find a therapist that looks like you, okay? A lot of times we just feel more comfortable with talking to people who look like us. That way we can sort of open up more, especially for people who are like very private, especially people like me. I'm like, nobody in my business. No, so even this is a lot for me, being vulnerable on the internet. I do think that therapy would be beneficial. Sometimes you may need family therapy, you may need personal therapy. It could just be to get through the day at work. I mean, it could be even for professional therapy, couples therapy, parental therapy. Who knows? There's therapy for everyone. But for the Black girls, I highly recommend you check that out, because I feel like it gives tools on how to do the self-work. Because to my knowledge, even if you go to therapy, there's still work that needs to be done. That is not an end-all be-all. There's still work that you have to do on yourself. You can't just depend on speaking to this person once a week or once bi-weekly or every month in order to solve all your problems. There's self-work that needs to be done, whether it be reading books, listening to podcasts, going to the gym, praying, meditating, whatever that may be for you. When I meditate in the shower. It doesn't look like how everybody else says they meditate. Some people meditate in a quiet space like this. Where I live is loud. You already hear the smoke detector. You always hear my neighbors all around you. Pretty much in every video you hear my neighbors. So it's like, how am I gonna meditate like everyone else when it doesn't work for me? There's always traffic. So I go into the shower, and that's how I do my best thinking and focusing. Do what works for you. So yeah, hopefully you guys got something from this video, and just be patient. My life motto is it always works out. People always think I'm delusional, and I know I'm delusional. You have to be delusional. You gotta be delulu in order to get through this thing called life. You have to know that you're the best. You have to know that you can do it. And I'm speaking to myself, okay? Bettering yourself is not an overnight process. It takes years sometimes. We're all forever evolving. We're all forever going to be changing. Who I was a year ago is not the person that I am now. Sometimes we fall off the track, but you just get back on and start back up where you left off, and you just keep on going. My motto is everything always works out. And maybe I'm delusional. People call me delusional, but sometimes you gotta be a little delulu in order to get through this thing called life, okay? If you don't think you're the best, who will? If you don't think it'll work out, then who will? Let people call you conceited, bougie, whatever. They're just jealous. I'm sorry, it is what it is. You have to think about yourself that way, like, I'm going to make it. I'm gonna be the best. I will always be the best. Just know that it's not gonna be a bed of roses. Because I used to look at life like a bed of roses until life busted me in my face, okay? It takes work, and when you're really trying to better yourself and improve you as a person, taking accountability, that's always the first step. Do you know like how strong of a person you have to be to take accountability? And I have issues with taking criticism sometimes, especially when you feel like you're just fine and dandy and perfect. But like, no, sometimes if you look at yourself in the mirror, there's a whole lot of work that needs to be done. In private, get to work. So yes, guys, this is the end of the video. Hope I didn't ramble too much. I keep on saying that, but like, I'm just a little nervous. I'm not used to being vulnerable and opening up about, you know, life things. I did a little bit, you know? But yes, any podcast that I reference or I think that could be beneficial to you guys, I'm going to leave down below. I love introducing more of this kind of talk into my content and not just fashion. There's multifacets to me and I just want to express that in different ways. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and got something out of it. All my Instagram, TikTok, my website, everything will be linked below. And until next time, toodles.